Alright, so this is the Resurrected Hobbyist. Once again, thank you for agreeing to be on my stream. This video I'm going to be talking about doing it as an interview format. The principal difference between doing an interview format and a presentation format is it's you and I basically working off of each other. I would introduce you, tell the people on the stream, hey, this is, John Everyman, so-and-so, whatever. He's coming on to talk about this latest project or how he's advanced from this point to this point, how he approaches an overall project, whatever that may be. I would switch over to you and then we would conduct the interview. Rather than my just, rambling on for 3 or 4 minutes trying to pretend I'm 2 people. Admittedly easier if the voices in my head could speak through my mouth, but unfortunately they cannot. I've got a friend on the line who is an artist. She's helped me out several times in the past and has agreed to do a quick, short mock mini interview, whatever phrase you really want to use. So basically the way this would be set up is transition. There we go. So we would be streaming. I would be talking about, whatever it is that I'm talking about that night, working on whatever the project is. We would come up to the, 8:30, 5:30, whatever time the interview is scheduled for. And you would be on standby on Skype. You would be muted. Anything before that, we'd have to make sure we're communicating through text so it doesn't bleed over into the chat itself. But I would basically call you up and go, hey, you online? You would turn off your the muting on your microphone, and then we would start talking. So, as I said, here's an example of how it would go. We'd be on stream, I'd be working on whatever I'm working on at that point. I would say, okay, now we've got Tyjenko coming up. She is a digital artist who's agreed to be on the show and talk about one of her latest pieces. Hey, Tyjenko, you there?
Loud and clear, hear ya.
Excellent. So we all set on your side?
As far as I can see, yes.
Okay. Alright, so let me go ahead and switch over to your gallery. Alrighty, so we've got your man bat up. What was he labeled it as? The Messenger?
It's called The Messenger.
Yep.
It was done as an alternative anatomy piece, so hence the oddity. It's actually a very large download file. That's why I didn't allow for people to download it from the site initially. You can download it now, and it's big enough to be a desktop background.
So if anyone's looking to have Man Bat on their desktop, there you go, you got the option.
Yeah, the model I used for it's actually a woman.
Okay. Girl Bat, Woman Bat.
It just
I have,
keep calling it the Messenger.
Yeah, I have to admit, Woman Bat doesn't sound quite as impressive for some reason. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue.
Hence the Messenger. It has a bit of an odd, ominous feel, and also a quirking the eyebrow sort of response. Essentially, though, I was tasked that semester when I did that piece. I had an honors project involving alternative anatomy, and this was my final piece that I did. Took several hours over several days, and I think cumulatively it was probably about 36 hours of work. Because I was stopping and starting and stopping and starting and having to redo things, setting up musculature, studying other critters, generally bats, yes, but also having to study human anatomy to see how you merge the two. It's strangely difficult. So you can see that I did bones on one side, musculature on the left, and I left the vein work in as more visible across the whole thing.
Yeah, one of the big things I can see, especially on the bone side, is you basically got the shoulder blade, which is basically human-esque. It's a little bit wider than I think an actual human's is. I'm not 100% sure on that. But then it just connects directly into the armature of the wing the same way that a human's would anyway. And it's not really till you get about the elbow or so that it really starts changing to be more bat-ish, bat-like.
Well, for the bone structure, I started with human anatomy as the base, and then I went and looked at different bat species to see which ones they actually had skeletal structures for available online in a free commons sort of thing. Creative Commons is great, but when you have, actual scientific images. That's really helpful. So did a lot of that. Obviously, and you can see that there are actually 5 fingers there. It's pretty interesting that when you go looking at other critters, you look at a human skeleton and you look at the basics, skull, hands, feet, and then we have 5 digits on feet and hands, fingers and toes. You're going to find that in a lot of other species, and bats are no exception. The wings are actually its hands. So that's why some bats look like, when they're kind of coming in, almost like they're grabbing air, like a pair of hands would, because it's literally
they kind of are.
grabbing it. Yeah. And so their bone structures are pretty easy to go with. The musculature is a little weird. Humans don't have any muscles in their fingers at all. The finger is literally just tendons and ligaments and fat. There's nothing else musculature in them. There are some muscles in the hand, like in the palm area.
Right.
You got the 2 big meaty ones, and then kind of between the knuckles, as they head off into the digits, there's these little tiny ones called lumbricals. But bats actually have musculature that kind of goes a little bit through that membrane. It's very tiny and very, very slight, but obviously for something this large, which would be height-wise human-shaped, you're going to have a lot more muscle.
Right.
And the muscle that's out of that shoulder point it may look like it's not too big, but it's actually pretty powerful.
So pretty good note for anyone who wants to do like bat-winged possessed chaos models or something like that. That hook, or the what we usually think is a talon at the top of the wing, is actually a thumb. So.
Yeah, I mean, even if you look at the alternative anatomy of, say a dragon, a lot of it's based off of a combination of bats, birds, and various reptiles. So obviously, there's going to be, again, those 5 digits going on. Birds have a bit of a different setup. They have one big bone that kind of arcs out for like the main point of the wing, and then different birds have different digit distribution, so to speak. If you're really wanting to make something that looks absolutely vicious, you're going to want to look at birds like cassowaries. Cassowaries are vicious as hell, so you're going to want to look at them for something that just looks absolutely,
completely non-close to human.
Yeah, primordial at the very least. So.
Okay, nice little tidbit for anyone who wants to do something more demonic in base. So, alrighty, that about covers up the time we've got for tonight. Thank you for joining us, Ty. It's always interesting checking out alternative arts, even if it's something that's not directly related to, like the models. Just the visual aspect of it is always something that's interesting to look at, and different views are always helpful. So, thank you once again.
No problem.
And then that would be the point that we would switch back to the normal stream and continue on to the end. Okay. So I hope that kind of helped explain like the real difference between like an interview and a presentation. If you want to check out the presentation video, just go ahead and click here. And once again, thank you for agreeing to be on my stream.